Good morning and welcome to McDonald's. Would you like hash browns with that egg McMuffin today? Guys, it's the morning market report. We are here breaking down, just like Bitcoin's price, everything that you guys need to know today. A lot of red here on the crypto bubbles today. We've got some PCE data just came in this morning, so we're going to be looking at that. Mind you, it was a little bit better than the prediction, but not better than what it previously was, which means, inflation is transitory again. And then to top it off, guys, we might have a government shutdown today. So what does all this mean for markets and prices and everything that we're going to see happen? What levels am I watching here on this Bitcoin chart, guys? Because yesterday in the community during TA 101, we talked about these levels here, and you can see we lost the no S hold this level. And we're now at the, crap, it didn't hold, but we're getting a bounce. We're pinging in between. We're going to break all this down. We're going to take a look at all of it today on the morning market report. Let's get it, guys. Class is in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning market report. Guys, we had a pretty nasty dip continuation. We lost the resistance zone there. We lost the no S hold this zone. Getting a bounce on the well crap, it didn't hold zone. But guys, if we go lower, we've got some other levels we're going to talk about today and why we could possibly see those levels play out. But I'm not doing it alone. You guys know I always have a co-host. Today, I have two co-hosts. Guys, welcome TradeFly back to the morning market report. What's up, my dude?
What is going on, fam?
With that, my friend.
What's that?
I'll take a coffee with that. I am eating kind of like a muffin, actually.
Yeah, your mouth is full, all kinds of, All right, what's going on, guys? Man, it's good to be here. This is home sweet home for me being on the morning show. So super excited to be here. And you guys know what I like to do. I love giving shout outs to everybody in the chat. It's kind of my thing. I'll give OC guy a little time to get all that stuff down. So let's go ahead and roll through this. Username, of course, in the chat, Any Rock Crypto, our unofficial hype man, crypto coin mindset. Good morning, my dude. BC Port Corp running that pre-morning show. He's doing big things. I saw the views going up for you today.
Yeah,
brother.
They had a good show this morning. They had a good show this morning. Yeah.
There it is, man. Racking in the views, baby. Let's do it. Harp, he's in here. That's my friend of me this week. We're going to have a little battle here later in NFL football. Alexandra G, the best mod in the house. Love you, long time lady. Let's see who else. We got Ninja Glock. What's up, my dude? How you doing? Scrolling. Green Day Profits. What's up, brother? Fantasy football, bro. I tried, man, but it was the end for TradeFly, man. I think I'm out of the league. All right. Let's keep it going. Of course, OC guys in here. Trade Intuition, Joe, our dude, running that afternoon trading show, doing big things here on the Piper Academy Network. Trent, what's up? He said, GM cadets. GM, brother. Yeah. Crypto trades in the house. Buenos dias. What's up, my guy? All right. Scrolling down. We got Jeffrey Stone Cipher. How you doing? Good morning, everybody. And dropping some otters in the chat. My dude. I'm going to need you to drop some caps too, baby. Let's go. But hopefully Alex O's, I think he's actually running the show. So you're cheating on Alex right now. You know what? I like it. Thanks for being here. All right. Mike plays in here. What's up, brother? How you doing? Dylan VA, Rusty Bot. Did I say Mike play? What up,
Rusty Bot just joined our Discord too. I just got a notification of that. So shout out to Rusty Bot joining the Discord, man. Glad to see you there.
There it is, dude. I like his emoji. Right. You see the little Santa Claus hat? Rocking it. I like it. All right. Scrolling down through here. Let's see who else we got. C9 there for the win. What is up, dude? Mike play. And Tano. Hopefully I said that right. But what is up, my dude? And if I didn't say crypto coin mindset, what is up to you? And I think we are good. Let's go. Hey, per the norm,
let's go.
If I didn't give you a shout out, Just let me know in the chat.
It means he doesn't like you.
Get in there.
That's what that means. So.
That is not what it
means. OC, how you doing today, man? How you feeling about the market?
Boycott the morning show. You keep playing with me.
Don't
like
boycott.
That.
You already boycott the morning show with your crypto nightcap hatred. I get hatred from the nightcappers. No cap. No, I love you guys, man. I love you all. You guys are slaying it on the nightcap. OC, how you feeling about the markets right now before we jump into this news, bro?
Oh, actually, I'm feeling pretty good. We have a pump and dump. It seems like at least we're having a big retracement. Does that mean that we're over with that dump? I don't think so. We still need to look for maybe a couple of ranging areas, maybe structure wise. But so far, have we hit a big resistance area? Absolutely. We can see that with that candle just rushing down, rushing back up almost at the same time. And as long as we are able to close it like this, I think we have a brighter future, and the pain might be over for many of us. But other than that, I already said that.
Yeah, it's a big bounce. We hit a level.
Yeah, you know my level? Who's been watching the nightcap? Who's been watching it? Y'all know that channel. Y'all know it.
It's a channel. I gotta, before we jump into the news, I do gotta point this out. I was on another show this week, and I wanted to show. They said, "What are you gonna go over for trades?" And I said, "I'm gonna go over SOL." And they said, "Okay, we're looking for longs because that's our narrative this week." So, that's right, Soul Train. And I said, "Okay, yeah, I got an entry for Solana," and I pulled up this level. Let me set this up here to show you guys. We were rejecting off of this the 3D trend here, okay, and we were coming down, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to set like my support zone down here. It's going to be based off of the value area high or value area low, and then also my golden pocket, the 0.66 here, and that's my entry. And they were like, oh no, that's like way far down there, man. Don't show that trade. That kind of goes against the narrative. That would mean like we're shorting from here all the way down. Let's just go ahead and let this play.
Did you show it though? Did you have the cojones to show it?
No, because I was a guest on their show. Dude, look, dude, I'm just saying. Hey, sometimes people don't want to hear the truth, and that's what we bring here on Piper Academy, the truth. So I know. I
was looking at 187. That was where my buy zone started.
Yeah, I was looking at the value area low, and then the 0.66. And the reason that I had the whole zone here was because we had this whole volume node here. And that's why I was talking about, look, this is like the start of this volume node here. And if we do come down here, we just look at this area here. We got the 0.66 value area low. I think that's going to be our target. And yeah, they didn't want me to show that trade. So I did not show that trade. But I did show our community. I showed our community that day. So, hey, that's all that matters. So
this is what I want you to do. I want you to take that, and I want you to take a clip from the nightcap, and then I want you to send it with a title that says, "We're better than you."
I can't do that. I am a guest on there, and I also do training on Fridays in their community. So, hey, but we know. The alumni know. They know. Let's jump into the news, guys. Let's start getting into that, and let's break all this down because we got not a lot of data. We got some good articles, and then we got some reasons that you shouldn't be too bearish. Do we have some more downside coming? Sure. Could we fall another 15 to 20%? Sure. But should you be running for the hills and getting out of the market? I'm about to go grab my financial advisor red beanie cap and say I would not be doing that. So let's jump into the news, guys, and let's talk about this. All the news that's fit to be news, guys. Currently, market cap. Let's give this a refresh. We did get a little bounce since it. Yeah, a little bit. $3.43 trillion market cap, down 6.87%. The volume in the last 24 hours up 43.1% there, guys. Looking here at the Bitcoin dominance, currently at 58.4%. The Fear and Greed Index for the CMC Crypto Fear and Greed is sitting at 62. We're still in greed. Still in greed. Nothing's changed. Would still holding there. But guys, look at the CMC altcoin season index. We're at a score of 36 out of 100. We were all the way over here in this light blue, moving into altcoin season. We are quickly sliding back into Bitcoin season. So alt's getting absolutely wrecked right now. We're going to keep an eye on that every single day here on the show. Let's take a look at the little refreshed of the daily bubbles. Still lots of red. Fartcoin. This is where we are. Welcome to crypto. We want to be professional money. What's our biggest mover today on the top 100? It's Fartcoin, up 6.6%. In the hour, though, guys, nice move here, including Fartcoin, up 7.1%, getting a nice bounce to the upside here. For our viewers, I did take half profits on a lot of my stocks because they are selling off pretty decent, because I think that the rebound is going to be much greater on crypto than it is on stocks. And I'm going to take that profit from my stocks and multiply that with the movement of crypto, because, stocks, they look at, movement of the last year, 30%, where, in crypto, we can get 30% in a week easily. So I am definitely, that is my move on that play right now. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to be buying Fartcoin though. Who knows? Let's take a look here and see what we're seeing here on the CNBC opening at the market, guys. Dow Jones is the only one that's green right now. It's up 0.08%. S&P, NASDAQ, both down still. S&P down 0.2%. NASDAQ down 0.64%. And the Russell 2K down just under 0.5%. But we are seeing a red VIX, which means some of the volatility is slowing the hell down, giving us a little breather here, it seems like. So let's go and see what we got here on the economic calendar. Let's talk about this, guys. On the economic calendar, is everything updated? Yes, it is. We're good. Core PCE index, okay? Let's talk about this data that came out this morning and what it actually means. Let me get it all on there. Consensus and forecast, please. Where you at, forecast? There we go. Perfect. So core PCE price index month over month this morning came out. It was at 0.3%. We had a consensus and a forecast that it would be neutral or slightly better. It was much better. It was 0.1%. Okay, so prices coming down on the PCE. Remember, this is the biggest metric that the Fed Reserve looks at. So that's a good one, right? Personal income month over month was expected to be up a little bit higher at 0.4%. Actually only came in at 0.3, which means that personal income did not really increase. It was an increase, but not near the expectation or what it was previously. Personal spending month over month, this came in better, came in neutral to what it was, but it was better than the forecast and consensus. Why? Because slowing down of purchasing, while it can indicate a slowdown of the economy, it also means that there's a slowdown of demand where supply is in play, and that means that you might get a balancing out of that inflation number, right? And then here's the one that I want to talk about. Okay, we had year over year PCE price index. Now, first of all, we had the month over month, and it was expected to be 0.2, 0.3. It actually came in at 0.1, but let's talk about this. This is year over year PCE, okay? And if we go in here and look at the annual PCE in the U.S., the PCE inflation in the U.S. accelerated for a second month to 2.4% in November 2024 from 2.3% in October, but below the expectation. Now, there are a lot of headlines that are like, PCE price index year over year comes in below expectations. That's a good thing. But really, it came in higher because it was 2.3. We just didn't come in as high as we thought it would. Still came in 0.1% higher, okay? So keep that in mind, because a lot of the headlines are really just spinning this to be, hey, well, look, we came in better than the expectations, right? Came in below it. It's not as bad as people thought, but it's still higher, right? PCE price index annual change in the United States averaged 3.29% from 1960 until 2024, reaching an all-time high of 11.6% in March of 1980. But right now, we do have to see that we are on a rise. Look, September, October, November, it is getting higher. And this is one of the problems that is presenting itself to the Fed Reserve. This is some sticky inflation. It's that sticky icky, if you know what I mean. You guys know. Let's go take a look at this. PCE inflation. Look, this is what I was just talking about. PCE inflation lighter than expected in November. Guys, we just told you this doesn't matter. This headline is given a happy, sunny story, but we still came in higher. It doesn't change that fact. So Bitcoin rally loses momentum, could have dropped to $75,000, signal the final correction. Wow, I just had the whole song of the final countdown play through my head when I said that. Since Donald Trump's election victory on November 5th, Bitcoin has experienced a substantial rally, reaching $108,000. We all know about that. We celebrated it. We partied. Is it a temporary setback or the calm before the final surge? Analyst more cryptunal highlights that the current market dynamics suggest a substantial likelihood of Bitcoin moving towards $85,000. This projection stems from the observations that a recent wave of price action lacked the strength typically seen in bullish trends. So the overlapping and corrective nature of the rally highlighted by an analyst further supports the idea that a significant pullback may be imminent. And then he's talking about $75,000 Bitcoin. I don't need to go into why he thinks it, but Rect Capital is the one that is saying that, guys. And we talk about his stuff all the time. I think he's one of the best analysts in the business, besides TradeFly, of course. But I am watching that $75,000 range, and I have a reason for that. It has to do with, I'll just go ahead and jump right into the chart here and show you why I think that. Why do I think $75,000? Let's go talk about this Bitcoin levels here real fast, and then we're just going to kick it over to TradeFly. I'm going to let him take the lead on his TA after I get through this. So looking at these levels, guys, I do have the, well, crap, it didn't hold after this, no S, it hold this. We lost it overnight. We are now rejecting cleanly on that level, guys. I gave all these out to our members yesterday on TA 101 for our upperclassmen. So they all got this. And that is where we are getting our rejection. You can see a wick up above it there and pulling back. So what I am seeing here, if we lose that level, we go down to the Jesus take the wheel level, I am calling it. And if we lose that, folks, we have to take into account that all the way down at $77,000, right in this range right here, that is Bitcoin's last stand. Why is that? It has to do with the BTC1, and that would be our CME gap all the way down here coming in at $77,000 on the downside. You can see right there, that's where that's at. If you put this on the daily, it's a clean candle. Sir, can you come back in for me? Thanks. There we go. Little clean candle right there. CME gap coming in. Top side of that is about 81,000. Bottom side of that, 77,000. That is where I'm getting those levels for Bitcoin's last stand, all the way down there. If we lose the, well, crap, it didn't hold and Jesus take the will, Bitcoin's last stand coming in on a CME gap. Let's go ahead and kick it over to TradeFly, because I want TradeFly. I may have to plug your stuff in, TradeFly. I don't know. Did you share your chart? It doesn't look like it. So share your chart with me. Let me get that set up, and we'll get y'all plugged in here. You got it?
We're ready. We're ready.
All
Let's
right.
do this.
All right.
Here we go. Strap up. All right. So if we go down to anywhere around 70,000, I'm telling you right now, we're going lower. This is why. Look at how much liquidity is sitting at about 65K. I'm telling you right now, if it goes down to 70K, mark my words, date, time, stamp, do whatever you want, we're going down to below 65K. I'm putting my name on it right now. All right. So that's one of my biggest plays right now. If Bitcoin goes down there, I am going to take a long position, point, period, blank. All right, let's go to liquidity on the 3-day and look at that. And give it a moment. Give it a moment. There you go. All right, so you can see the downtrend very, very clear on the liquidity heat map here. And you can see where the bulk of liquidity is sitting in the short term. It's up over 105,000 right now. Okay, so we are starting to kind of get a little bit darker down here. And that is an indication that you could see a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a reversal. That opportunity is there. What have we seen this morning? Is that we got a little bit of a bounce, all right? Because this liquidity right here is actually after the bounce. So you got to understand how to read this. And this is starting to heat up as price is going up here. So right here, when it actually came down to this zone, it was pretty dark, right? There was no liquidity to chase. So there's really less reason to drive the price down anymore. Let's go to the chart now and look at that. So this channel, we've talked about it ad nauseum on the Crypto Nightcap, and I think a little bit on here as well. All right, we've been following this channel all the way back from 2021. There's a couple intermediate lines here. This one goes back to 2018. We've essentially formed a range with two major trend lines that go back historically on Bitcoin. It's amazing how well this has actually worked out. So this was a fib extension. This gave us the 0.5 on the fib, as well as this trend line kind of lined up, acted as resistance. And the other thing you can see here is that there was a little bit of bearish divergence on the 4-hour. Price go up, RSI go down, price end up following and going down, right? So here we are, time now. I unfortunately missed this, and not by a lot. I put a buy order in last night at 91.5. Very close. I was off by what, 600-700. What I didn't really pay attention to, and then I'm kicking myself in the butt right now, is I should have started my buy zone right here. Look at this wick. I'm usually a little bit more keen on these wicks. When you see them, it's saying that there is buying pressure in that area. So I missed the bounce, unfortunately. But now you have the money flow point of control. This thing actually has held up quite well, and I'm really starting to put it into my analysis a lot more recently, because you can see where it acts as support and resistance. And so that's a key area now for me, and I'm going to keep it on my charts from here on out. But the other thing I want to show you is look at the moving averages and how these things have played out. It has been wild. So I prefer the SMA. I know some people like EMAs, but look at this. This is the 21-day. All right. Rejection down. This is the 50. Rejection down. This is the 200. Rejection down. All right. OC retest after OC retest after OC retest. It's been pretty wild how accurate those moving averages have been. So for now, because they are playing out, I'm going to leave them on the chart, right? You kind of have to, because now we have to get through those. Those are going to be areas of resistance. So I talked about this a little bit last night. The unfortunate spot we're in right now is that everything that was underneath of us as support is pretty much over top of us. All right. So now we got to fight through all that stuff, but that's opportunity. If you're going to day trade, you're going to scalp, that's opportunity, because it's going to probably come up. You're probably going to get a rejection at some point, and then you got to try to work through it. But you can play those initial rejections. So it comes up, little rejection. Let's go ahead and draw you some lines here. All right, little rejection, maybe down to the point of control, work its way up. Rejection, work its way up. Rejection. So that could be opportunities for you. Sorry for my cough. Still trying to get over this. I've had this cough for like 2 weeks now. It's been completely annoying. All right. So, the opportunity is there. You just have a lot of resistance to look at on the charts right now. And that's kind of the unfortunate part of where we're at. In terms of having support underneath us, it's there, right? So this channel's here. This is pretty much where we started this fib retracement here at about 90,600. So you can see there is some support and resistance in that zone in conjunction with this channel. So let me show you this channel if you guys are new here, just so you understand what I'm looking at with that and how far it goes back. All right. Oop, ignore that one. But here you go. So I'll keep it pretty quick, pretty basic, but high to high, support to support. That's my channel. Look at how well it's played out. This is what kept me in the game right here. A lot of people started freaking out down here at about 55. We did not. All right. Look at that. You had confluence there. And then it was just actually a perfect little pullback. This is actually a really healthy, when you look at it. I know a lot of people kind of freaked out. It kind of depends on where you take it from. But even right there, that's just the 0.5. So that's kind of what we've been looking at. We've been tracking it. And now we're on the top side of that. And when we took off and we went up to 108,000, its last retest was of that channel. And then it went up. Now we're coming back down. So this could be an opportunity here. It's barely, very barely. could be setting just a higher low. And that right now gives you hope, but you're holding on to that. Let me be very clear. You are definitely, you got to keep an eye on this, because if we lose this on the daily, there's not a whole lot going on. You have this range right here. I'd say the bottom side of the range, and Piper's made a play last time we were in a position like sorry. Last time we were in a position like this, he made a nice play at the bottom part of the range. All right. So this was the previous range that we were in, but that's about what's left holding you up. I got to be honest with you. So about 86,000. I'm going to go ahead and mark that on my chart right now. Bottom side of that, you need that to kind of hold up as not resistance, support. And then hopefully the dynamic reactor works its way up. So as the dynamic reactor works its way up and you start building confluence in this area, that will make me feel a lot better. All right. Because then we're kind of going back and you can see right here, there's not a lot going on. All right. This was a quick move up, which means there's not going to be a lot of volume here. It's going to be harder for you to do TA on it. Right. Again, you can do fib retracements on a macro level, but then you got to start looking at things like the 200 SMA. All right. That's way down here. So that's a couple things that I'm looking at on the charts right now. I think there's an opportunity that we get our bounce and maybe we hold up, because the data that's coming out has pretty much all been good. The only thing that sucked was Powell, right? He didn't do very good with that meeting, but he was back and forth. I don't know if you guys paid attention at all. There was just no consistency in his message, but the data right now is good. All right, so that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. If you're talking about high side targets, you got to work through all this resistance right here, 97, 98, and then you start dealing with these moving averages. We just got to cross on the 21 and the 50, not ideal. Dynamic reactors red, not ideal. But I'd keep an eye. I keep an eye on these moving averages right here for your first, well, I'll say your second big bit of resistance, right? So first one's here, second one's here. And now once we kind of flip all that and get that on the bottom side of this, we can start talking about, going up to the highs again. But that's kind of what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. I'm going to try to die off camera here, and maybe I'll come back without this cough. But other than that, that's what I got. Love y'all a long time.
Bro, go drink some water, man. You're going to be okay.
I'm dying.
I think the government shutdown, I think you're going to get hit in the government shutdown with it. So let's talk about that. And then OC, I want you to come back, man. I got it too now. I want you to come in and talk about what you're seeing on Bitcoin. If there's any hope, if you don't see any hope, then we'll jump right into some alts. But right now, I think we've nailed the levels. But let's go take a look at this article here, guys. Government shutdown looming right now. Trump-backed spending bill voted down last night in the House. Last night, I think it was like 9 o'clock at night, my time. It was pretty late, but fast facts on it. The deadline is nearing to avoid a partial government shutdown. A streamlined version of the bill backed by Trump to avert a partial government shutdown failed to pass the House of Representatives on Thursday night. The bill, which needed 2/3 of the House chamber to pass, fell 174 to 235. That was the vote. The national debt has soared over $36 trillion, and the national deficit is over $1.8 trillion. Not looking good right now, but the bottom line is, if you guys watched on X at all this last week, Musk was on there talking about, don't pass this bill, 1,500-page bill, continuing resolution bill. It's got a bunch of pork stuff in it. It's got a 40% pay raise for Congress. It's got this piece in there that where they can't be, where they get immunity, like all kinds of stuff just shoved in to a bill that's supposed to be, for continuing resolution, offering some support to the flood recovery and things like that, right? So it had a whole bunch of things that were important, but a whole bunch of things that really did not need to be in there. Like, I don't think Congress needs a 40% pay raise at all. So 1,500-page bill. Bottom line is, guys, these guys are trying to pass bills that have a whole bunch of stuff that don't need to be in there, tying it in with important stuff that needs to be passed. And right now we are looking at a government shutdown. Government shutdowns do not typically play too well for a lot of people, but markets tend to rally on government shutdowns. Why? Because there's no one at work to do anything stupid and mess up the market. So keep that in mind. We get a government shutdown, we could see a hard rally and V-shaped recovery on the markets. I just wanted to talk about that, bring that to light. Not a lot of people talking about it today. They're talking about PCE, and they're talking about what's happening with the crash and market rates and this and that, but no one really talking about what could happen with the markets if we get a government shutdown. So it is not horrible. Why is my light off over here? Can I get some light? Thank you very much. There we go. OC, let's pass it over to you. Let's take a look at your chart. Are you seeing any hopium? That's what we need. We need a dose of OC hopium.
All right. First of all, guys, let me remind you that yesterday I said that...
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero.
All right. Other than that, let me just compare a couple of things in here. I think we do have that hopium going on. I think we're going to be bouncing, but let's take the big picture, right? Something that I want to point out, it is this previous stop. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, and one small one and a 2, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, a small one, and a 2, right? So as long as on this bounce that is coming, because it's coming, we make a higher high, we need that desperately, and we avoid the lower high, I think we're going to be fine. Nonetheless, remember that we've been talking about a 30% correction throughout the bull run, right? So, I mean, is it a time for that 30% correction? I don't know. I don't think so, but could be it, right? Still, remember, I always want to consider my worst case scenario. In this case, my worst case scenario, it's going to be dynamic reactor somewhere around 82. I'm not calling for that right now. The only thing that I will be saying is that if we have this bounce lower in here and then we reject hard, and then we also at the point that we're calling this area right down here, that is when I'm going to be aiming all over here. Nonetheless, let's go to the lower time frames. This is the daily. On this, remember that this is my previous prediction on the whole cycle here, or what I'm expecting. Let me just clear this up. And I was expecting this drawdown. And why is that? Because we have this beautiful trend line, right? So right now, it's not about the breakout, right? It's about the what? The retest. Where are we retesting on this possible trend line at 90K? So for me, 90K will be the ideal scenario. But as you can see, look at the size of that week, right? Whenever we have that size of a week, well, we usually start rolling it up, right? I mean, even smaller weeks right down here, we rally up. Other than that, hopefully, and I said hopefully because that will be getting a couple of my trades in here, or my open positions here at 90K, 92K, somewhere around that area. Well, then, if we get here once again, I think that we could be going for a big bounce because it's going to be used not with a breakout, it's with a retest, and off we go. And just as a possible prediction, we're aiming somewhere around 125, 130 if we can make it pass through this area here, right? Still, as we mentioned before, we can still go to 80K, right? If we have a continuous lower movement here, like we got. Remember, this is just me copying this previous movement, all right? So if we see the same thing, which I don't expect it to be that far off, so I do expect to be shorter, all right? We could be just rolling it up. Let's go even in here closer, and this is very, very, very good news, right? Why? Because as we have seen in the daily, well, we are forming something like that, but with two full candles, right? Right downwards, one upwards. So basically just canceling each other out, right? We just need to see it just being canceled. and then seeing the flip of the ribbon. The next thing that I also want to see, it is the money flow start going up, right? Something like in here, something like in here. That for me will signify that we could be just piercing through dynamic reactor and then continuing upwards, right? Nonetheless, we still need to consider this dynamic reactor. Right now, technically, I'm bearish. I will be giving more. I'm going to be considering more shorts over longs. And I'm going to be trying that as soon as we impact the dynamic reactor. All right. I'm not expecting it to be a long lasting short. I am expecting to have a very small short. Let me show you like something like, come on. Well, something like this, right? Where we don't spend that much or that long below the dynamic reactor, something along those lines, right? So just bear that in mind, guys. We're bearish, but I think everything is looking well a little bit more bullish than yesterday. Let's just say that, right? And why is that? Because look at that, we already have that double bottom right here, very close, something like this. We have the big wicks. We have the big wick here. Well, it's not a wick, but it's canceling each other. So technically, it is a wick. And then we're just waiting for that last piece of the puzzle. So other than that, I will say that today I will still do my popcorn scenario. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy to see what goes on in the market. On my bot, this is my bot, is still printing out. I mean, yes, I had a big retracement, but I'm committed to the bot results, right? So basically, I am plus 147 still at a worth of 992 out of a 1,400 that I had before, right? So does it pains me to see this? Oh yeah, but am I still in profit? Yeah, so why not keep it? Remember that my entry is somewhere around this area. Here we go, entry price 67,747. Yeah, 47. So I still had a pretty long way to go before I start considering manually closing it. So I just leave that to the bot. Other than that, I think that wraps up what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Let me pass it over to you guys.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. So I just got breaking news alert on CNBC over here. The House is exploring about breaking the bill up into multiple parts. Someone in the thing said it's down to 100 pages. Yes, they did cut it down from that original 1,500. But now they're looking at, after the denial last night, the vote against it and it not getting passed, they're looking at breaking it into smaller bills so that they can get at least a divert around that government shutdown. But if they do not get something passed today, government will shut down tonight at midnight. So guys, keep that in mind. If we do get a government shutdown tonight at midnight, could see an initial pullback, and then all of a sudden crypto starts to rally this weekend. So there's your little dose of hopium. But let's jump over. I want to talk about Ethereum for a minute, because when you're talking about how the altcoins are performing, and we're going to go heavy into alts here in just a moment with TradeFly leading the way on some Soul Train. I know he is. But we're going to talk about some alts, but I want to talk about Ethereum first. Let's jump in here and take a look at Ethereum, guys. You guys remember this long trend line? Talked about it. TradeFly, you gave me something, man. I caught it across the network. We got this nice little back here. This goes back into November 21st of 2022. So 2 years ago, this trend line started in play. And we talked about this numerous times that, guys, you know, if we get pullbacks, and I thought that we would hit this when we were getting that March 2024 pullback, but I want to show you where we are at currently right now, moving forward in time on the 4 hour. We just got a bounce here on that, and it looks like we're trying to pump off of it. Let me get off that automatic. There we go. We're trying to get a bounce off of this, and it's not looking too shabby. I thought this line might come into play, and it absolutely is. Let's throw on some chart prime indicators here and throw on that 3D trend. We are still on a 4 hour sitting in the below the negative 3D trend. We are sitting but with a dump indication coming on here also on the prophecy indicator. And right now, just kind of flat at the bottom, guys. I think everything is poised. I don't care what you look at today. Everything is pretty poised for getting an upside move on the 4 hour at least. But if we move this over to the daily and we take a look there, we could still see quite a bit of downside moving. Oh, wow. Look at the daily. We caught the 3D trend too. We could still see more downside on a lot of the oscillators. Matter of fact, as we look at the alts, if you guys could pull up the daily after you do your short term, just to see how far from the bottom we are on a lot of the daily indicators, I think you'll see a trend going on there where we still got a little bit of move on the dailies, even though we're looking very, very bottomed out on the 4 hour. That could indicate things like this, where we're getting a pump up here, but it then continues to the downside. So, but watch that level right there, guys. It's currently coming in at about $3,100 on Ethereum. Let's go ahead and kick it over to TradeFly, see what he's got there on his chart, and let's start some alt rotation here. What do you got for us, TradeFly?
All right, here we go. So I've been looking at this for, I don't know, at least a week or so. We've talked about it on the nightcap as well, but around the 0.5 at about 187, you had confluence between there and the dynamic reactor. Now, it felt kind of weird to be saying while we're up here that this would be a buy zone for me. All right, so that's what I've been looking at on Sol. There's a couple of reasons, and let me kind of go through why that is. Looking at it right here, you can see rejection, rejection, all right, and then breakout. So that lets me know that 187 key area, all right, and that is not surprising at all to see a little bit of a wick right there, because there's going to be some buying pressure. But what you don't want to see is a close underneath of that. All right, so if we just get a wick, we get a close over top, all Gucci, right? So this is kind of like that first opportunity. Now the other area we're going to look at is just below it at about 168. And you also have the 200. So you have some confluence right here. You got this trend line, you got the 200, you got the golden pocket, and then now this channel, you got the top side of that too. So there is confluence city right here at about 168 to 164. All right, so that's going to be like a second area where I would lather into this, because it can still come down. There's no doubt about it. But then you can add your position, you can lower your entry, and you're still getting Solana, I'd say, at this point at a decent price, right? Because we've seen it go up to 264. So for it to go back up there, yeah, well within play, I'll say, right? And you're still keeping, a pretty bullish structure. A 0.5 and seeing where this is, flipping this area of resistance into support is ideal. All right, so that's why I say step 1, 187, step 2, 168, 164 in that area. I'd probably play the top side of it just so you don't miss it. But that's what I'm looking at on Solana in the short term, right? Very, very easy. All the TAs lining up here. There's no doubt about it. And there's confluence here at the 0.5 as well. So if we get that bounce, it's very simple in some of the areas that we start looking for in terms of resistance, right? And this lines up great, because if you're looking at 382, look how there's support. Wick, breakdown, come back left on the chart. Now you line it up with horizontals. You got resistance right here. So it's going to be probably a little resistance initially, right? Because we're flipping it, or we want to flip it. So you'll probably get a little rejection, maybe come back for a second retest, and then you get over top of it. But I mean, right now is, I say, a very key zone. Come down to the oscillator on the daily. What are you getting into? Oversold. Now you're looking at it and you're like, hey, this has the opportunity to start bending back up. Now, this is one of those things where like you're trying to get ahead of it. You can really wait for something like this to develop, where you see some bullish divergence, price is going to come down, RSI is going up, you get a second hit. That is the conservative play. That is definitely the conservative play. And that's actually typically my preferred method of entry, to be nice and transparent. I would love to see something like this. This makes me feel better before looking for that continuation up and right. This already resets. That starts working its way back up. And then that would make me feel good. That being said, where we're at right now, this dynamic reactor has been fire. It is held up as support for quite some time. So let's go back. We started here, this move in October. Let that sink in. The dynamic reactor has been green since October. All right. So it's still, it's still bullish. it hasn't really leveled off. Well, it's leveling off, but it hasn't flipped yet. Let's look at Bitcoin on the daily. I just want to see if that actually flipped. I know we're looking at it on the 4-hour. It flipped already on the 4-hour, but let's look at it on the daily real quick, because I do like looking at Bitcoin, just trying to build confluence between the two charts. And of course, we get a little explanation point there. Why wouldn't we? All right, because we're live and we're trying to do this. And we're trying to give you guys some important stuff. There you go. All right, so the daily down here still very green. Look at this. I mean, this hasn't even really leveled out. All right, so it's still working its way up. Got that nice bounce there. So now you come back down to Solana again, because Bitcoin's daddy. We know that. And we're looking at that. And I would say that's okay for me, honestly. So what you don't see is everything kind of flipping on you. Now, I'll say Solana actually was more bullish on the charts earlier before Bitcoin. Now it seems to be a little bit inverse. I would say there's been a little bit more of a pullback, a little bit more of a cool down for Solana, because it was a big mover. It was hot for a while. All right, so now we're coming back down and retesting some areas, but that's opportunity, right? Because if you're looking at this right here from 260 down to here very quickly, 27%. What's a pretty normal pullback in a bull market? About 25% for crypto, right? So we're testing those levels now, and we're already showing the signs of a bounce. So again, that's the levels that I'm looking at right now for Solana. This is level 1, level 2, and again, those are 187 all the way down to 169, 164. And then we start working through some of these fibs right here. So 382, you can see a horizontal. Look, that lines up nice. But you're looking at that, and that's at about 205, plus you have a psychological number. So it wouldn't be surprising to see a little bit of a rejection before you break through. Now you're getting the cross in the moving averages. That's going to be something to deal with. All right. Now that's not exactly bullish, seeing those cross, but it's another level for you to mark on your charts, right? So you got some confluence there. We'll mark it on the charts. I think we'll find some resistance at 218. And then we work up to the next level. And that's just the way you got to kind of watch it, and play the game here. So once we get to this next step, right, the 382, then what are we doing? OC retest, looking for that. And you see how you can just progressively work it up. Just the way it's kind of progressively worked down, right? Moving average, retest, down. And this one didn't even get that second retest of the 100. But you could see on Bitcoin that it did on the 4-hour, right? Moving average, rejection, moving average, rejection, moving average, rejection. So, those are scalp and like daily type trades that you guys can look at and try to make on this if you want. Or you can just say, hey, we're at 190. I'm okay with that. Hey, we're at 169. We're at 164. I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and add on the DCA portfolio. Depends on how you play the game. If you guys do it weekly and monthly, doesn't matter. But is this opportunity? Like, this is where I like to add to DCA portfolios. It's when we get these big dumpsy doos. I like to say that. But that's when I like to add in, is when we see things like this. So blood in the streets is when I like to play. So here we go. That's some zones or areas for you guys to look at on Solana. Very simple. And I will pass it on to the next one. And we were cough free, mostly. Let's go.
Mostly. Get this man a cough drop. Get this man a cough drop.
I don't know if you saw me. I left in the middle of OCCA. I was like, I'm getting water. I'm getting cough drop. I'm getting everything, dude. Allergy medicine. So I'll be asleep here probably in an hour.
Nice. Shout out to Crypto Billy in the chat right now. He said he's going to be on BitLab Academy with Kelly Kellum. If you guys don't know, he's going to be over there at noon Eastern Standard Time today on there talking with him. So you guys go check out Crypto Billy over there on Kelly Kellum show. A couple veterans hanging out talking crypto. I love it. It's going to be great.
Dude, I was literally just thinking about that, Billy. Probably a couple days ago. I was like, man, I got to get Billy on. Like, I've had this whole team on. But not Billy. So
I had Billy on yesterday, bro. You're missing out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have more.
All right, OC, what altcoin are you watching today? I'm going to come. We had a request for GOAT. I saw that. I want to try to squeeze that in if we have time. But I'm looking at Retro Mike Tech's favorite token right now, Caspa and SWE. I'm going to take a look at that. So, what do you got, OC?
Absolutely. First of all, I want to shout out a couple of calls that I gave yesterday. I rose from the dead just like a vampire. It was my time. But other than that, what I was looking at very quickly at OM, it played out very nicely, and also at Litecoin. Let's just take a look at that very quickly. Litecoin, that was the second call I gave. I was looking for this backdrop here, or this retest, right? Pullback up to all the way up here, but it cut it short, right? Thanks God we called it. We saw that lose of momentum before it started dropping back down. We moved stop to entry, and then we just let it run. In fact, this took me out like in 50 cents in profit, and that is because when I move my stop to entry, I move it slightly bit above just to compensate for fees and any other kind of stuff that could be charging me, right? Another thing that I was looking at yesterday was this one right here. There we go. Nice. So we were expecting that. In fact, I gave this into the public in the class here on the YouTube 2 days ago. And since we set up our entry, it was not caught until yesterday. Yesterday, throughout the class, it jumped into our entry and then very quickly took TP number 1, TP number 2, and then we activated trailing. What happened? It reversed on trailing, basically getting us out back at higher than TP number 1. We closed the trade for good, and then in DOP, it dumped very hard on us. At this point, I'm looking at a couple of other stuff, like, for example, ADA. ADA is looking good because he had a V-shaped recovery. Another thing that I'm looking at, it is Link. Let's take a look at Link very quickly just to compare it. It has the same pattern here as ADA has, right? Coming down, little range V-shaped recovery, and we are right against the course, right against the dynamic rector. So, guys, you pick your poison. For me, it's going to be ADA, and this is going to be one of my entries here. So, first of all, I do acknowledge that I have a dog facing here, a little quack right down here. This indicates to me that I'm going to have a little bit of retracement before I further move to the upside. If this further move to the upside is strong enough and I can make it through, most likely than not, I'm going to find supporting here and then continuing where? To my next resistance area. Which one is it? It is right here all the way at 0.98. This is a danger Will Robinson trade. And this is because we have the previous weekly low all the way up here. All right, so I'm going to be looking for, let's just remove them all. Yeah, let's just remove them all. I'm going to be looking for this little quack to continue up. I'm going to be waiting for the breakout, or at least the pierce through the dynamic reactor. I want to see green money flow, and add the retracement on green money flow. That's going to be my entry as I come back down and do my next flip of the ribbon right here for a continuation to the upside. This could be also, I mean, in all fairness, this could be a continuation to the downside. So if you want to do a hedge entry at the breakout, right, at the breakout, a hedge entry, I would consider looking at this one for your long hedge, a stop loss, and then considering this area as you, as you short hedge a stop loss for the short. Just saying, this way you maybe can guarantee making a little bit of profit on any way it moves. I'm going to be pushing a little bit harder on the long, and that is because of the Bitcoin retracement that we're having. BTC 15 minutes, it is pushing hard to the upside. And based on that, that's what I'm going to be going for the long so far. This is a dangerous trade. Once again, this is a dangerous trade. Jumping, this is not financial advice, but I would be jumping in with half of my entry at a lower leverage 5x. That's going to be for me. Other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. First, let's take a look at the markets right now, guys. Little market update for you. All of the markets have now flipped to green. 0.35% up on the Dow Jones. The S&P breaking 0.2% up, and the Nasdaq just over neutral, starting to pull back a little bit at 0.05. Russell 2K now up 0.37, guys. VIX starting to continuing to drop down 13.24%. That is the volatility index. Typically, when prices are dropping, this thing will pump. Right now, volatility slowing down a little bit right now. So we are starting to see some green, could see some continuation on crypto. Let's go ahead and jump into Caspa, talk about that. This blue trend line, guys, this is what I got in on Caspa a long time ago. Another song just popped in my head, I'm telling you. And I've said, watch this level, guys. And I got my trend-based fibs on here that gave us a lot of these levels that we were shooting on. But I said, look, if we lose this, and I had this triangle, this rectangle that I put in, I said, this is the zone. This is the 11.2 zone, and this is where a lot of the price action has occurred. We did get a bounce on that, but I want you guys to be aware and be cautious. I'm not saying go buy Caspa. Right now, on the daily, we are looking like we're getting pretty bottomed out here. We are seeing a clipping of the True 7. We are seeing a weakening there of that downward trend, meaning that it's running out of juice. You can see that peach color right there on the power bar. What I would keep in mind, though, guys, is that if we throw on this fixed range volume profile for this entire period, we lost a value area high a while ago, last week, okay? What I'm watching here is that if we lose that, you guys need to be aware. Our point of control is all the way down here at about 5 cents. I'm not saying we're heading there. I think that this zone will hold. That bottom side of this zone is coming in at about 10 cents. But if you were looking at Caspa and you are just dead determined that Caspa is going to be the move, right, for you, then keep an eye on the zone. If we lose 10 cents, though, guys, we have to take into account the price action that, like, there's a huge gap here. We really don't have much here at all. Matter of fact, if we pull in the fixed range volume profile, you'll see, let me isolate this off and bring this into play. You'll see that we don't have anything if we lose this level right here. We have small volume node here. There's a couple of little tips here, one down at about 6.3 cents. But really, we don't get into any real hard volume until below 5.1 cents. So keep that in mind on that for Caspa. I know a lot of people are still very bullish on it. I actually got messaged by oh goodness gracious, the Gym Hunter. I can't even think of his name right now. Anyway, he messaged me yesterday. Let me go check it, take a look. What I know the name. I just can't. Oh, Crypto Archie. That's it. Jesus Lord, help me. Yeah, Archie even messaged me and said, hey, what are you seeing on Caspa? So I just had that look already on the charts. I just wanted to bring that to you and let you guys know that one. Looking at SWE right now, SWE's doing some moves, guys. It came down, got a nice bounce. What levels do I have on here? Let's go turn on the 3D trend on the 4-hour. Looks like we're trying to pull back up into the 3D trend right now. We have retaken the dynamic reactor and the quantum reactor. But if we put this on the daily, I'll show you guys where the real bounce came from. It's right there on the 50-day simple moving average. That is where, or is it the SMA or EMA? Let me go check. SMA, simple moving average on the 50-day is where we just got our bounce for SWE. SWE trying to retake its value area high. Be very cautious and careful if we reject on this value area high currently coming in right now at about $4.34. If we reject on that, we could do a round trip back to the point of control. By that time, we could have this 50-day moving back into range for confluence on that level. Looking at the oscillator on the 4-hour, it looks like we could be getting a nice little bounce here off the bottom side. With the uptrend over the oversold has triggered. We are getting a transition color here. And I just saw on the daily too, that if we look at this, we could be setting up for a 0-line bounce here on the oscillator ribbon. SWE looking pretty strong right now. OC, it is the bottom of the hour, guys. So we are out of time. But I just wanted to give you guys those levels, let you know that the market starts starting to turn around. At the end of the day, I think it's important to note, and I dropped this on X yesterday, guys. This is where we are in the cycle. And this entire crash is this right here. That one little candle is this entire crash that everyone is talking about right now. In the grand scheme of things, we're still looking strong. 30% pullbacks are normal in bull cycles. We typically get 3 to 4 of them. And in price discovery, as we put out last week when we were going over the Rect Capital newsletter, we talked about week 6, 7, and 8 of these price discovery is a great time for pullbacks. We usually see big corrections during that time period, as much as 30%. 30% pullback would close a CME gap. Just stay your course, use some risk management if you're trading. And at the end of the day, remember that we're only about 60% of the way through this bull market. So we still got time. TradeFly, what do you got for the people on the way out, man?
Yeah, man, I think that's solid advice, right? Like retail has a tendency for whatever reason to flow back in at all-time highs because that just generates the marketing, right? Like everybody starts talking about it, grandma, all them. So they get in at like 100K or over 100K, and then we get these dumps and everybody gets scared out. I don't have to worry about that with you guys. I know that you guys are watching this show every day, so you're smarter than that. You know this is opportunity, right? This is an opportunity to go ahead, add to the bags, take advantage of those pullbacks that we knew were inevitable, right? You can't be up forever. So yeah, and like you said, just risk management, have a plan, layer in, layer out, be smart about it. And that's just the biggest thing that if I can say to anyone is you gotta have a plan. You gotta have a plan at some point, whether you're gonna hand that off to somebody or realize those gains. You just gotta be careful with not round tripping it, or you take advantage of this stuff. So anyways, it's great being here, guys. Love you long time. And yeah, tune into the Nightcap with me and FD. We're doing that Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to try to get on here on the morning show as much as I can. I definitely miss being on with you guys. OC, good seeing you, brother. Army, we talk all the time. So, but
all
that
the time,
being said, everyone in the chat, much love to you. And I hope you have a great weekend. And we will see you again Monday.
Oh, so you got anything for the people for advice on this weekend? How to approach these markets? What's your OC words of wisdom? Let's give it to them.
Just guys, remember the pullbacks are possibilities of re-entering, right? Again, look for that confluence bunching up, and then have a plan. One of the smartest plan that you can do, because this has been proven, not because of us, not through us, nothing like that. It's just time that has proven it is DCAing, right? Remember that. Just go for the worst possible case scenario. Allocate a little bit of money that you will not need in the closer areas. Also, not money for your food, not money for your rent, not money for your children, right? And then divide that in different entries based on your worst case scenario, your absolute worst case scenario. And then just follow that plan. And I guarantee you that in no time, you're going to be seeing a green wallet there. It's just a matter of patience and having a plan, right? That's why I do it. Many of us have different accounts, saving accounts, long-term accounts, medium and short-term accounts. So be smart with your money. Only you know you. So concentrate on that one. Yeah, and do what it is best for you guys. I think that's what I can tell you right now.
Awesome. All right, guys, we are about to head out of here, head over to Randy Hipper's house. We're going to raid the frat mama's house and tell her we want our attendees. Don't forget to tune in today and check out Crypto Billy. He's going to be on BitLab Academy over there with the Kelly Kellum. So go check that out. And then also today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, check out Trade Intuition with Trade Academy, bringing you guys all the knowledge. We will be back here next Monday, setting it all up again, starting out with BC Port Corp on Good Morning Crypto and running through the entire 5 shows. So make sure you guys are subscribed, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we go live, and we will catch you guys Monday. Have a great weekend, you guys. It's Friday. Go spend time with your family. It's the last week in the shop, so be careful out there. Craziness on those streets. We will check you guys out later. Until then, trade safe, and as always, use some risk management, guys. Peace.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, 'cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. TradeFly, get the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that num nada sauce spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. Sound off.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.